22, when he calls you when he's drunk, he starts spilling his affection towards you on the phone. Are drunk words sober thoughts? Interesting question, Matt. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on this one. I hear that all the time. As men, they text after late night, after they've been drinking. They kind of tend to say things a little more loosely than they would if they were sober.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. They can be, but they might not be, right? And it might speak to what's going on with his heart, but not what's going on with his mind. And so what alcohol does is it lowers his inhibitions, right? So he has more courage when he's been drinking. He's probably more in touch with his feelings when he's been drinking, right? But again, like I wouldn't. There's so many women that they're like looking for clues, right? They're trying to be a private investigator, right? And they're like looking for them clues about what does it mean, is there, I don't know how to do the spectacle thing on this. But anyway, they're looking for clues that this guy is really into them and that they, right, can open up and attach themselves to the guy, right? And that's what they're looking for, is they're looking for the right clues, which is one of the reasons why you're watching this video right now, because you want to know whether the right clues are there for you to open up and attach yourself to this guy. Because if you didn't like him all that much, you wouldn't care. You wouldn't be watching this video because you don't care, right? And you care because you really like him and you want it to be something special and you want to change your behavior with him based on how he's doing something towards you. Well, I don't think that a drunk call is a validation for you to change anything that you're doing, right? Him calling you drunk and telling you all these things and, I really like you and I don't normally say these kinds of things, but, I could get married to a girl like you, right? You don't, like, he might do that, right? And that might be something that's coming from his heart or whatever, but he might wake up tomorrow and be like, man, I'm such an idiot. Why did I say those dumb things to her? Yeah. Because he's got all these issues going on with him, potentially. Maybe he doesn't, maybe he does. Who knows where he is in his life. And, his regular stuff is going to come up. You don't want to base how you interact with him with how he was when he's drunk, right? You want to base your interactions on with him, how he acts when he's sober and how he acts when he's in a normal emotional, physical, mental state with you, right? Is he, like we were talking about earlier, is he investing in you? Is he moving things forward? Does he want the same kind of relationship that you want? You need to think, you need to use your mind and your heart in all of these situations, right? Too many women are just using up in their heads and they're like, oh, is he the perfect man on this, 25-page checklist that I have, and he's wearing glasses. That's not on my checklist. He's out, and we have women that'll do that, right? Like a guy will have one little thing that they don't like and it's not even that important, and they'll write the guy off, right?
Yeah.
Because they're just in their head.
Yeah.
Or some women. Oh, did you want to say something?
I was just gonna say, my language I talk about, that's called, in my opinion, choosing a man with your masculine energy, choosing a man based on what he looks like on paper, or does he fit that checklist of external requirements that really have nothing to do with how it feels to be with him, what kind of partner he would be, which would be choosing from your feminine energy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, and there's also kind of just being in the feelings, right? Which isn't always necessarily feeling from your heart, right? Like it's not necessarily feeling from, does it feel good to be with this man, or is this sometimes it comes from a space of like, so if you're hurt, right? If you have past wounds that you haven't healed yet, and you're kind of in this space where you're kind of feeling desperate, or you don't have any connections with other people in your life. There's this a principle that I talk a lot about is called the abundance principle. And the abundance principle is, so there's like scarcity, right? Where there's not enough. Scarcity means there's not enough of something, right? There's not enough guys, there's not enough connection, there's not enough love, there's not enough feeling of comfort or certainty, there's not enough feeling important or special or any of that kind of stuff going on in your life, right? Whereas abundance is you have an overflow, you come from a mindset that there's more than enough men, there's more than enough connection, there's more than enough love. And if this person isn't giving it to me, then I can get it somewhere else, right? And a lot of women are coming from this scarcity mindset where there's just one dude and there's just one
Yeah.
there's one connection, right? And there's one space where they're getting their love, they're getting their feeling of importance, they're getting their feeling of comfort and safety and security, they're getting their variety and excitement in their life. It's all coming from one source, and it's this dude. And so if this guy pulls away or does something, they think it's their heart, right? But it's really their insecurities, it's really their desperation, it's really the fact that they're living in a world of scarcity instead of a world of abundance. And so you need to make sure that, one, you're coming from a world of abundance. That way, if you're far more likely to make rational decisions, right? You're far more likely to use your heart, but not use your heart to get you into a bad situation. And you also have to make sure that you're using your mind so that you're actually thinking, I really like this guy, but does he want something real with me? Does he want a committed relationship like what I want? And you want to make sure that you're not getting yourself into a bad situation that you're going to regret later. We have so many women, just women after women after women come to us because they are in this friend with benefits hookup situation, and then they get attached to a guy and they fall in love with this guy who doesn't want the same thing that they want anymore. And so they're in this situation trying to convince this guy to want the same thing that they want. And that's a bad situation to be in. Obviously, we can help you fix it, right?
Yeah.
And get out of it and get into a situation where he either commits to you or you get into a better situation. But you don't want to be in that situation to begin with.
Yeah.
And so, I'm kind of ranting.
Totally agree. No, I love it. I like just everything you have to say is so valuable. So